I'm your host, Sirkin, and welcome to Today in History, the show where we dive into the fascinating stories of the past. Today, August 12, 2026, is just another day for many of us, but believe me, it's a day that's steeped in history. As we go about our daily lives, it's easy to forget that the world we live in today is shaped by the events of yesterday. And that's exactly what we're going to explore on this show. So, sit back, relax, and get ready to take a journey through time. As we travel back in time to this exact day, August 12th, we find ourselves in the midst of a pivotal moment in human history. It's a day that's etched in the memories of millions of people around the world, a day that changed the course of human events forever. And that day is August 12, 1949, when the Geneva Conventions were amended to include the protection of civilians in war zones. But that's not the story we're going to focus on today. Instead, we're going to take a closer look at an event that's often overlooked, yet incredibly significant. It's the story of the signing of the Treaty of San Ildefonso, which took place on this day in 1800. The year was 1800, and the world was a very different place. The French Revolution had just ended, and Napoleon Bonaparte was rising to power. The United States was still a young nation, struggling to find its place in the world. And in the midst of all this turmoil, a secret treaty was being negotiated between France and Spain. The treaty, known as the Treaty of San Ildefonso, was an agreement in which Spain would cede the Louisiana Territory to France. Yes, you heard that right, the Louisiana Territory, a vast region of land that included parts of present-day Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and parts of Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and North and South Dakota. The story begins in the late 1700s, when Spain controlled a vast empire that stretched across the Americas. But as the years went by, Spain's power began to wane, and the country found itself struggling to maintain control over its territories. Meanwhile, Napoleon Bonaparte was rising to power in France, and he had big ambitions. He wanted to create a French empire that would rival the great empires of Europe, and he knew that the key to doing that was to gain control of the Americas. So, he set his sights on the Louisiana Territory, a region that was rich in natural resources and strategic location. The negotiations for the treaty were secret, and they took place in the town of San Ildefonso, Spain. The Spanish king, Charles IV, was desperate to maintain his country's power and influence, and he saw the treaty as a way to do that. He believed that by ceding the Louisiana Territory to France, he could prevent the British from getting their hands on it, and at the same time, gain a powerful ally in Napoleon. But little did he know, Napoleon had other plans. The treaty was signed on August 12, 1800, and it marked the beginning of a new era in North American history. The Louisiana Territory was vast, covering over 828,000 square miles of land. It was a region of immense natural beauty, with rolling hills, vast prairies, and winding rivers. But it was also a region of great strategic importance, with access to the Mississippi River and the port of New Orleans. And Napoleon knew that whoever controlled the Louisiana Territory would have the upper hand in the struggle for power in North America. But Napoleon's plans for the Louisiana Territory were short-lived. Just 3 years after the treaty was signed, he sold the territory to the United States for $15 million. The Louisiana Purchase, as it came to be known, was a landmark deal that doubled the size of the United States and set the country on the path to becoming a continental power. And it's a deal that would have far-reaching consequences, shaping the course of American history for centuries to come. As we look back on this event, it's clear that the Treaty of San Ildefonso was a pivotal moment in history. It marked the beginning of a new era of American expansionism, and it set the stage for the country's rise to global power. But it's also a reminder that the course of history is often shaped by the actions of individuals, and that even the best-laid plans can go awry. Napoleon's dream of a French empire in North America was never realized, and instead, the United States emerged as the dominant power in the region. So, what can we learn from this story? Well, for one thing, it's a reminder that the past is always prologue. The events of yesterday shape the world we live in today, and it's up to us to understand and learn from them. It's also a reminder that even the most powerful leaders and empires can fall, and that the course of history is always uncertain. And finally, it's a reminder that the consequences of our actions can be far-reaching and unpredictable, shaping the lives of generations to come. As we close out this episode of Today in History, I want to leave you with a question. What if the Treaty of San Ildefonso had never been signed? How would the course of American history have been different? Would the United States have still emerged as a continental power, or would the country have developed in a completely different way? These are questions that we can only speculate about, but they're a reminder that the past is full of what-ifs, and that the consequences of our actions can be profound. Thanks for joining me on this journey through time, and I'll see you next time on Today in History. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and always remember that the past is just a step away.